Hi and welcome everyone to today's presentation of Eurocon. My name is Stefan Knutsson. I'm an equity analyst here at ABG covering the service sector and Eurocon specifically. And with me today I have the CEO of Eurocon, Peter Johansson. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, I will start to say that you can take the next picture. Yes, Eurocon is a company which holds a couple of smaller companies as well. We see them PDAB and KLT and SiteBase. PDAB is a specialist company for design and process automation and process safety. And you can see KLT, they are a qualified technology consultant for automation, mainly in the pulp and paper business. And they also have an installation technology department, which is a smaller one. And then we have SiteBase, which is our integrated engineering system that streamlines and qualify and ensure information in the industry, especially when you are rebuilding or building new things there. And also take care of data to the maintenance systems. You can take the next picture. We're working in several areas. We are working especially, of course, in the industry. We're mainly working in the industry, I would say. We have some smaller parts in the infrastructure and in the IT section. But the main turnover is coming from the industry side. And there we are for chemistry, mining and steel, forest and energy. Our services are covering the entire life cycle of an investment, which means that we are doing everything from studies to calculations to the project. We go through the whole project and then we make sure that they get all data after the project, which is completing the projects. And we work mainly with both new projects and maintenance projects and rebuild projects. And as I said, we are working in several areas here, which is, we have already spoken about them, but the main focus is, of course, pulp and paper business and the mining and steel and chemistry. They are the biggest ones. Energy is also climbing up a little bit. So we can take the next picture. We are around 250 employees today. I am very happy to say that we have succeeded very well from the 1st of January until now. We have 16 new employees, more or less. We get some more or less every day now, and which we are very happy with. We had some resizing during the COVID procedure here during 1.5 years, and which have, of course, it's problematic. We need resources for the coming projects here. We are also a very flexible organization with the offices from the north up to the south, which we're coming into more later. So we'll take the next picture. Our vision is to make sure that the industry knows about us, and we will be the first choice for the industry depending on quality and environmental and sustainability. That's the major target for us and very important that we work with. We also have a goal to make sure that we proceed with the turnover at 10% every year, which have been very hard the last year, of course, depending on the COVID pandemic here. So that had been very hard, but we see now that we are on the run and getting better and better, and we are having actually very easy to recruiting at the moment. It had been very hard for a couple of years, but now it seems to have been a little bit easier. And we get also experienced people, engineers into the company now, which is very sophisticating. We haven't been used to that for a long time. You can take the next picture. Yeah, I talked a little bit about sustainability. We are working very hard with that, of course. We are working with new facilities mainly in the pulp and paper industry, and we hope to also get in there in the iron and steel and mining, which are expecting to build a lot of new facilities during a couple of years now. And we are, of course, working very hard to get in that technology. We are working with a couple of companies which are institutes to make sure that we are on the top level of what's happening in Sweden and in the world of new technology. So that's very important for us. And we are working very close with such companies. We also are working very hard with the social, environmental around our offices and around our communities. And that's also important when you're hiring new people, of course. Yeah, we take the new picture. This is the organization we have. You can see it's a lot of companies, but we are still holding it up very easily. You can see the one who is dark blue here, a little bit lower down, they are companies that we have brought into our company with acquisitions. We expect to have around 40% of our turnover comes from 40% comes from when we are doing hiring in people. And then we have to buy some companies also over the year to achieve the 10% goal to get 10% of the turnover. So that's the biggest thing. But we make this very easy because we are trying to find companies around Sweden which having specialists and which having the structure in the company which suit us good in our business plan. So we take the next picture. Here you can see a little bit of the growth. It had been lousy during 2020, and it was a little bit low 2019. But I think we have almost recovered that area just in the first quarter, which I'm very happy with, and hopefully we can run this very quickly over the year here now. Seems very, very, very offensive today. Yes, go to the next picture then. Here you can see also what I told you about a little bit of the spread about the turnover. The forest industry are very important for us, and we are very deep into looking into new products, new areas, and new technology here. We also see that the chemistry, energy, and the mining and steel industry are working with more or less the same products and such things now. So it's very easy to jump in between the mining industry, forest industry, and the chemistry industry. Though we have some specialists also, as I told a little bit about. And that is very interesting for us to keep that area up. And it's very important to be sure about what's happening and the new things coming up in the market, especially in the pulp and paper and mining and steel business now. As you all seen in the papers and in the news, that it's growing very well, especially in the North Sweden. And we are having around 160 engineers up in the North Sweden and around 90 in the south part of Sweden. But all of the company are very set to work with the industry wherever they are in Sweden. And we have this own IT system that works with the projects, and we can bring people in a project from the whole Sweden and of course also from abroad to work in the same area and the same project and see what we are doing, which fits us very well when it comes to big projects. Then we can take the next picture. Yeah, here are the customers, and you can see here what I'm talking about. We have those huge companies around the pulp and paper and mining. We are a little bit lower on the chemistry and energy, but we are working on that very hard at the moment. You can also see that we have, for instance, Sea Green down there, which is a new company, new started company, which is coming on the sustainability side very much to create new things for the rest products of the industry, which is very exciting. And we see a couple of more companies that we are working with there. Yes, we take the next. We are trying very hard to increase our competitiveness through the efficiency and smart technology solutions and the latest thing on the market all the time. Sustainability is very important for us, and we are creating a long-term benefit for the industry in that area. We are hoping for, at least, and we are working very hard for that one as well. So we find it very interesting, the project which is coming up here in the near future, especially in the north part of Sweden. And hopefully it will spread also down to the south part of Sweden. Next picture. Okay, we should look into the first quarter here. You can see the turnover around 69 million Swedish crowns, and the EBIT margin up to 7%. It was 5% last year. That is a quite good one, and we don't have any support from the Swedish government now, and we are keeping the results, and the turnover is increasing as we expected. So we find it very interesting coming up to the 2021 and 2022 now. We will take the question around this later. Then we take the next picture. Yeah, you can see here some key figures. We are increasing the turnover, we are increasing the EBIT margin, and everything looks quite good. The only thing I want to make sure that we get now in the end of this year is that we get our targets with 10% on the margin, EBIT margin, which I see is we should be able to do that, is my opinion. Then we can take the next picture. And the next.
I think that was all.
Then we don't have any references.
No.
We can go back to the picture number 10, then I will tell you a little bit about it. Yes, we can see here at SCA, we have been working very much with the new product line in Östrand. And we are now working for SCA up in Obbola, which are a huge project, both of them. And we are right in the middle of ending up the Obbola project. And we have been finished the Östrand project, which have been a great success, both for us and also, of course, for SCA. We are working very hard with LKAB, which is a huge mining company. They are working very hard together with SSAB and Vattenfall here in Sweden now, and they have some projects coming up now called Hybrid. And we are also, of course, offering our services for Hybrid at this moment. We have a quite huge office up in Kiruna, which we are around 30 persons in the office, which means that we are the biggest local company up in Kiruna, which we are very proud of. And then you can see a lot of pulp and paper industry here, but you can also see some energy companies and some water treatment companies in here. So that we have experience from both Sweden and outside Sweden. We have been in Sumatra, Indonesia, and doing big projects. We have been in Canada and done a lot of big projects. We have also been able to make sure that we want to have some better competitiveness in Canada. So we had actually, before the pandemic here in Sweden, we have a discussion ongoing in Canada to get better up there and better marketing, but we have to stop that procedure for the pandemic. We will see what's happening after this now, if we can continue it or not. but that's very important also, and I see it's quite a big benefit if you can do that. Yes, unfortunately, the pictures are gone there I had some more prepared, but they are gone, unfortunately. So we might switch over to questions then.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Peter, for the presentation. Just first up, can you tell us a bit what happened actually last year when COVID came and how it's affected the investments in your industries? And I can tell that you're rather optimistic about the recovery now. Just to spin on that thought a little bit more.
Yeah, we can see a lot of projects which we have calculated on and was very close to get just before the pandemic. They was having some problems, depending on that all of us was hurt by the pandemic, of course. We couldn't have meetings and such things, and they will put then the projects on hold. And also we can see that during the pandemic, for instance, pulp and paper industry, especially the ones who have the paper machines for newsprint, I mean, it's just in Sweden we have the paper coming into the house every day. But if you look at Europe, they went out in the street and buying it, but they were not able to do that. So the fine paper business went down very quickly and very rapidly. So we saw a lot of projects having hold up and went very slowly forward. So that was the main issue. Then we have done we have employed some new young people into the company, and we couldn't put them on hold either. So we have to put them out of the company for the moment. So that's why we are having some decrease of the staff during the pandemic. But we are on that today, and I think what the things looks like now is that we can recover that very quickly, I hope.
Perfect.
That's why I told you that we have put in at least 15 persons during the first quarter here. Of course, they don't come in directly. If they are experienced, it will take 3 months before they have them in work in our company, but they are on their way in.
Perfect. And I would also like to go into a few projects. You mentioned the hybrid joint venture with LKAB and SSAB and Vattenfall, and that is a really ambitious project to hopefully that will hopefully result in fossil-free steel by 2035. Can you tell us a bit more about the project and how you foresee that, like your part in the project? When do you think that will ramp up and so on?
Yeah, I don't know about how the ramp up will be, because that's LKAB and SSAB and Vattenfall who is running that one. But we are in there and doing some small part of job for them today. And we would like to have maybe one of the projects for a couple of years, because there is so huge projects coming up there. And we are not able to take everything, but we can at least get into 1 or 2 of them and make sure that we have the capacity and we have the specialist for it. I mean, we have one of the best specialists on the vätgas here in Sweden, and they are in the project today, helping out there. And we very much like to look at that. And then we have this office up in Kiruna and Luleå. I mean, we have started a new company and a new office in Luleå during last year, and they were 1 person when this year started, and now they are up to 7 in Luleå. So I see that we are increasing our staff up in the north part here also. But we are having continuously offering over to hybrid today, and hopefully it will end up with some project.
Yeah, and just as a reference, I think the total budget for the hybrid joint venture is somewhere, I've seen figures of 400 billions, and that can be compared to your previous Östrand project that was a total budget of around 8 billion.
Exactly. So, and we have, if you compare that with how many persons you put in a project like that, I will say we had about 35 to 40 persons in for 3 years.
Yeah.
In one such project, so you can see the opportunity coming up there.
Yeah, perfect. And apart from the mining industry and the hybrid project, is there any other areas where you see potential for a ramp up in investments now in the coming years?
Yeah, energy. I mean, if you're talking building out the northern part of the iron and steel and mining, we need a lot of energy. And I think Sweden is also a huge leak of energy today. So we need to ramp up the energy solutions here in Sweden. And then you have the chemistry. I mean, chemistry are going more and more into pulp and paper. And we are taking care of the chemicals in the pulp and paper industry for good reason now. Before we have put them in the wastewater and just put them into cleaning as far as we can do that and then put it out. Now we are taking it in and making sure that it comes to good chemicals that we can use in many other areas. And so the pulp and paper industry is also changing rapidly.
And I suppose...
Yeah, it's very interesting today.
Perfect. And I suppose part of that is also we've seen that RISE has been granted extra funds in order to intensify the sustainable solutions in the bioeconomy in Örnsköldsvik.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit more about how that can affect you and what is your role in that build-up, so to say?
Yeah, I'm going to go through the history a little bit. We have been part owner of RISE, and we have been part owner of more research. And both of the companies are now sold to RISE. So, which means that we have a very close contact with them, and we have been working with more research and Processum for many years to create new facilities for having startup things and small pilots to do pilot tests on new technologies. And now RISE is starting to build a new center up in Örnsköldsvik, and we are very lucky that we are working with the RISE at the moment to create that area also, which we are very happy about. It's not as a huge industry project, but for us it's very important to be a part of the development here of the different kind of chemistry and different kind of pulp and paper things coming up there. It's a mixture of chemistry, bioeconomy, and everything is coming in there. So I see a huge amount of new technology coming up there in the future, near future.
Perfect. And then to conclude, Peter, what will be the most prioritized during 2021? Will it be getting the EBIT margin back to target, increasing your organic growth, or to find new M&A targets?
I will say they are not, all three of them are on the highest priority, I would say. So we are, my plan in my head, I can see that the things we are talking about in the industry sector now up in the north part of Sweden, it's not a thing coming up for a year or two. It's going to stay for a quite longer time. I can't say how long, but in my area, it's around at least 5-6 years with heavy investments, and which means that we have to have a lot of new persons. We have to look for acquisitions. We have also to look for new competencies, which we will be able to use when we are working with the RISE people today. So I find it very interesting, the years coming up here.
Perfect. It will be very interesting to follow your journey here, and I would like to thank you for coming and presenting with us today, and also to all your listeners on the stream here.
Thank you.